Hey guys, Fox here. Hope you're all well. As you can see, the floppy drive emulator's arrived. So now I can get on to part 2 of installing it in this Super WildCard DX-2. Now, what I've decided to do is not film the install, and let me explain why. The floppy drive in this Super WildCard DX-2, it's nothing special guys, it's just a bog standard off the shelf PC floppy drive. So, you know, who wants to sit through an half-an-hour video of me swapping a floppy drive? So, yeah, what I'll do is when I'm installing it, I'll stop every now and again and take some high-res photos so you can see what's happening. And then once it's in there, I'll set it all up, we'll test it out, we'll dump a couple of games and see if we can run them in an emulator on the PC. So, yeah, I'll see you in a little while guys. Hey guys, back again. What you're looking at is my computer. I used to use Fraps to capture video back in the day when I was doing computer stuff like this, but yeah, Fraps does not like Windows 10, so I'm using my Elgato HD6 there to capture the video coming out my HDMI port on my graphics card. What I need to do now is set up the USB stick. Now, what I can tell you right now is the software that's bundled with this USB to floppy drive emulator is just shit. It's so Chinglish guys that it might as well just be written in Chinese. It really is that crazy. So what I did is I did a bit of research and I found a website that actually makes an equivalent model to this, and theirs is all in English and it works with this thing, so we can use that to format the USB stick. Now what I'm going to do now is plug in that USB stick. I'll go to the piece of software, and what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below where you can download this piece of software if you want to get one of these USB to floppy drive emulators. So I'm just going to run that and format this USB stick. One thing I've noticed guys, it's only allowing me to do 100 discs. I don't know why that is. I'm going to have to look into that guys. Yeah, so I'm going to select 1.44 meg, yes that's right. And let's format this. And as you can see, it's carrying up to the 100. What we'll do is, once I've done this, is we'll dump a couple of games, we'll bring it back to the computer, and we'll see if we can run those games in an emulator, and that will verify that everything's okay then. So and you'll see what happens when it formats. It basically like partitions your USB stick into 1.44 megabyte floppies. Okay, so let's exit out of that, and you can see, look, I don't know why it's come up at 100 though guys. I'm gonna have to look into that. As you can see, it starts. I'd rather it start off at 001 than 000, but it's just the way it is. But yeah, as you can see, we've got 100 floppy disks. So what I'll do now is I'll exit out of that. We'll go plug this into the Super WildCard DX-2 and see if we can use it like a normal floppy disk drive. So I'll be back in a second, guys. Hey guys, back again. As you can see, the USB to floppy drive emulator is in my Super WildCard DX-2. Why I'm here, I'll show you how it works. I've actually found out why I'm not getting the 1000 discs. It's actually due to, if I want the 1000 discs, I have to format it in this. And this thing can format the stick. And I'm going to show you how you do that right now. And this is going to be a bit tricky because I've got to do it one-handed. But the way you do it is you hold, there's two buttons, there's two buttons here. I'll talk about them later. If you hold the two buttons in while you're powering it on, you get the firmware and it will start formatting the stick. As you can see, it's formatting the stick. It takes about half an hour, guys, because I don't think it does a quick format. It does like a full format. So I'll let that go for about half an hour, then we'll come back. Okay guys, it's been about half an hour. It's finished formatting the stick. As you can see, there's two buttons on the side, this one and this one. Now this is a bit weird how this works. As you can see, I have a 3-digit display. If I want to advance the discs in hundreds, I press both the buttons at the same time. If you watch, change to 100, 200, 300, 400. The first button changes it in tens, so 10, 20, 30, 40, and the last button changes it in ones. I can go from 000 right the way up to 999. That's 1000 floppy disks, guys. Hey guys, back again. Yeah, I have it all set up. It's ready to go. Now, I shouldn't have to format any of the disks. I might just format one just to see if it actually formats a disk like it should do. So let's power this thing on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change that to 1. Because I'm going to keep 000 as the place where I save all my games. I don't mean like dump the games, I'm talking about, you know, the saves that are on the cartridge. And as you can see, it's on. So let's go to the disk drive and see if we can format the disk. I shouldn't really have to do this, guys, because this should all be formatted. But let's see if it would format like it was a genuine. Yep, it's formatting. But yeah, as you can see, guys, it's formatting like it's a, and then you can see the light flashing on the USB. It's formatting it like it's a floppy disk. And I've got 3 games. Obviously, I've got Super Mario World, we've got Street Fighter, and we've got NBA Jam. And I'll dump these 3 games. Yeah, formatted it like it was a genuine disc. So what I can do now is come out of there. Let's dump Super Mario World. So we'll go there, backup program, floppy disk. Yes, that's okay. Auto. and it's saving. Winner. So we've done Super Mario World on slot number 1. Okay guys, as you can see now, I have Street Fighter 2 in there, and this is a 2 meg cartridge, so it's going to span the game over 2 discs, and I'll show you how that works. As you can see, and I'm now on slot 2, because slot 1's Super Mario Super Mario World, sorry. So I'm just going to do the same. I'm going to go there, Program Manager, back up to floppy disk. Yep, that's good, and that's good. And now it's just writing the game to the number 2. As you can see, it's come up with a message, insert next disk. So all I'm going to do is push the button on the side. It changes disk, and it should start writing the second part. And there you go. And there we go, we just backed up Street Fighter. Okay guys, back again, last one. I have NBA Jam in there. We're just going to do the same. Power this on. I'm going to change this to bank 4. Bank 4. What I'm going to do is just do exactly what I did before. I back the game up. So we've got to go there, Program Manager, back up to floppy disk, and auto. I think this is a 2 meg cartridge as well, so this will take 2 discs up. What we'll do is once we've done this, I'll load one back in, probably Street Fighter. See if it will play Street Fighter. Yep. So this game wants another disc. Press the button, change the disc. It's as simple as that, guys. I can really see now why Amiga guys go after these things. To have 1,000 floppy disks is just crazy. And there you go, we've backed up the 3 games, guys. Hey guys, back again. What I thought we'd do before we take it to the emulator and see if we can get these games running in an emulator. Just thought I'd see if I could load one just to verify it. Now, I have NBA Jam in the top cart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load the Street Fighter cartridge. So that was on bank 2 if I remember. 2. And it automatically loads, look guys, you can see just as soon as I change to bank 2 it just starts loading. Because when you press that button it simulates taking the old disc out and putting a new one in. So and that's what this thing does. That's the only thing I don't like about this, is it automatically tries to load the disc but if the disk ain't formatted, then it pops up with an error. So I'd rather do it manually, but it's the way it is, the way it works. Now I have NBA Jam in the top. What would happen is this thing can play DSP games as well. So as long as I had a DSP game in the top, it would use that as a pass-through, so I could play things like Super Mario Kart, Pilot Wings. So if I had Pilot Wings on the top, I could play Super Mario Kart. So there I'm on bank 2, and the second part of the disc is on bank 3, and it's loading the second part of the disc now, look. So I've got NBA Jam in the top, and I'm loading Street Fighter. Okay, normal mode. That sounds familiar. NBA Jam, Street Fighter. NBA Jam, Street Fighter. Okay guys, now let's take this memory stick to my PC. We'll rip the games off and we'll see if we can get them running in an emulator. Hey guys, back again. Yeah, I've got the memory stick plugged into my computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Floppy Drive Emulator program. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are the ones that can contain the ROMs that we dumped. So the first one should be Super Mario Bros. So I'm just going to double click on that and open it, and as you can see it is. So what I'm going to do is go to SNES 9X, which is a SNES emulator, and I'm going to drag and drop that into a ROM folder. Now I'm going to do the same for number 2, which should be Street Fighter Disc 1. So I'm going to copy that over. I'm going to do the same with number 3, which should be Street Fighter Disc 2. So I'm going to copy that over. And Disc 4 should be NBA Jam Disc 1, and Disc 5, which should be NBA Jam Disc 2. So okay guys, we've copied our ROMs over. As you can see, it you know, the copier uses like an 8 word string because it's old, it's ancient. You know, you can't do like 32 characters. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to rename these just to make life easier. Good. Okay, so that's that. Street F1. We'll just call that Super Mario World. And we'll name that Super Famicom. Yes. Okay. So now we have our ROMs, guys. Now, what I can tell you right now is all of these files will have what's known as a copier header. Now, a copier header, what it is what the copier uses to identify what type of ROM it is. So in this case, the Super WildCard uses a 512 byte header. Now in that header it will have information like what type of ROM it is it a high ROM, is it a low ROM, what type of save it is, how many discs is it on one disc, is it spanned across 2, 3, 4 discs, information like that, and that's all contained in a 512 byte header. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open each of these files in a hex editor, and I'm just going to remove the first 512 bytes from all the files. Now what I use is a program called HEdit, and I'll show you the help so you can have a look where you can get it from. And if I select the first 512 bytes, and as you can see, it says select down here, look, you can see I'm just going down until I get to 512, which is there. That's the copier header right there. Now, I used to use a program back in the day called SNES Tool to do this. Now, the problem is, guys, if you've got a 32-bit operating system, you can still use that program. But I'm running a 64-bit version of Windows, and that program is a DOS program, a 16-bit DOS program, and you can't run those type of programs on 64-bit operating systems. You can if you use something like Virtual Machine or some program like that, but I'm going to do it old school, guys. So yeah, I've selected the first 512 bytes. Now what I'm going to do is just delete those 512 bytes, file, save. I'm going to do the same with all of these files. I'm just going to go in and delete the first 512 bytes, because if you don't do this, guys, it screws up, because a couple of these, like the NBA Jam and the Street Fighter, we're going to have to copy them together, and if you leave the header in there, it just screws up the ROM. So as you can see, I've selected 512 bytes. Just going to delete that. Super Mario World. Because Super Mario World is one file, we only have to do this once, guys. So we go like that, and we'll delete those, and that's it, guys. That's Super Mario World's done. We could run that in an emulator right now. Now I'm going to do the same for Street Fighter. Let's come in and remove the first 512 bytes. And that's it, guys. We've removed the header from the ROMs. So what I need to do now is, if I was using SNES Tool, what would happen is I would run that program and tell it to join these files together. But yeah, I'm going to use a DOS prompt, guys. You can copy two files together using a DOS prompt. So what I'm going to do is type copy /B, stands for binary, and the first one I'm going to do is NBA Jam. So I'm going to go NBA Jam .1 plus NBA Jam .2, and we'll call it final.smc. No, we'll call it Super WildCard, Super Famicom, sorry. And it's only copied one file. Why did you only copy one file? Oh, I put MBA instead of NBA. Sorry about that. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back and just correct myself. NBA, that's the one I want. And there you go, it's copied two files together. And as you can see, it's 2 meg, guys. So that's NBA Jam done. So we can get rid of this now. We don't need those two files. We'll call that NBA Jam. NBA Jam. And we'll do the same for Street Fighter. Copy /B F.1 plus .2. We'll do the same again. We'll call it final. Famicom. And we've copied those together. and as you can see, that's a 2 meg file as well. So what we'll do now is we'll call that Street Fighter 2. Okay, so we get rid of that. And there we go, guys. ROMs are dumped. We've copied them together. We've removed the header. We've copied them together. Now let's see if they work in an emulator. So let's go to SNES 9X, and we'll open the first ROM. So we'll try NBA Jam first. Sweet. Let's try the next one, which is Street Fighter 2. There's only one more we have to do now. Let's see if Super Mario World works. And that's it, guys. We dumped 3 ROMs and they're all playing okay. What we can do is I have a program called MD5 calculator. Now what I can do is calculate the MD5, and I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste that into Google. Now what you'd normally find is if it's a good dump, it will come back and tell you, and as you can see, look, it's a good dump, because if we go down there we get the MD5 that I just got from the ROM. So yep, that's NBA Jam. Now let's do the same with Street Fighter 2, MD5 calculator, copy that, do exactly the same, just copy it into Google. Yep, Street Fighter 2. Check the MD5 just to make sure. Yep, there it is, Street Fighter 2. So that's a verified good dump. And we'll do the same for Super Mario Bros. Super Mario World. Paste it into Google. And there we go. Make sure it's the same. MD5. Yeah. And that's it, guys. That's how you used to dump SNES games back in the day. Now, if you own a Super EverDrive, if you own a SD to SNES, and you ever wondered how the ROMs you're playing on those devices got dumped back in the day, now you know. They were dumped on devices like the Super WildCard DX-2. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon.